Alright, today we want to talk about a monitor that feels familiar, simple, but a bit underrated. Like some displays look like they just want to sit quietly on your desk and do the job without trying to impress you with bold claims. And this LG 27-inch UltraFine 4K fits that vibe. The more time we spend with it, the more we see where it works well for real daily use, and where you may want to think twice, based on your setup. So let's walk through. We start with the design because that is your first contact with this thing. The panel sits in a pretty clean frame, with a thin bezel that does look nice on a desk. And the overall weight feels right for its size. Not too heavy, not too hollow. But when we attach the stand, we notice something. It supports tilt, height, swivel, and pivot on paper, and you do get a good amount of adjustment. Still, the whole setup feels like it was made more for practicality than elegance. So if you want something premium, or with metal arms, you may pair this with a Visa mount. The 100 by 100 mount support helps with that. On the back we get one display port, two HDMI 2.0 ports, and a headphone out, so it covers the basics well. And that dual HDMI is helpful, because many of you work with a console and a laptop or a PC at the same time. Also, no USB-C here. We know some of you want a single cable setup, so that is something you should keep in mind early. Once we power it up, this is where things start to feel familiar in a good way. The 4K panel sits at 27 inches with a pixel pitch tight enough to give you that detailed look, without pushing the brightness too hard. Brightness tops at 300 nits. Not studio bright, but not dim either. It sits in a middle range that works fine for most desks. And when we use it for writing scripts, editing photos, and browsing, it feels balanced. And then there is the colour. LG claims 90% DCI-P3, and it feels believable in day-to-day tasks. You get good richness, clean reds, and a neutral tone overall. Not a wide gamut monster, but enough for casual creative work or light grading. And since this is IPS, its contrast sits at 1000 to 1, so blacks will not be deep like a VA panel. If you come from VA, you may notice that difference at night. However, you also get far better viewing angles. And when you shift around the desk, tilt the chair, or raise the monitor, the colours hold steady, which gives this panel more flexibility. And yes, HDR10 support is here. It works, though you should look at it as a bonus. With 300 nits, HDR is more of an expanded tone mapping than a dramatic upgrade. Still, it helps when you watch HDR content on YouTube or Netflix. Now we go deeper into performance. This is a 60Hz display with a 5 millisecond response time. And in use, the motion feels controlled. Scrolling through timelines or dragging windows feels clean. Gaming works too, especially if you enjoy single-player games or casual sessions. But if you want very high refresh rates, you already know this will not fit that role. As for editing, that 4K resolution helps a lot. Timelines feel roomy, and the viewer window keeps details crisp. And because the panel holds colour reasonably well, the preview gives you a close sense of the final output. One thing we want to mention is the Switch app. Once we set it up, the screen becomes more flexible. You can split layouts, jump between presets, or build custom arrangements for streaming or video calls. And if you like organised workflows, this adds some value. Also, reader mode comes in handy late at night. It cuts down blue light and gives the panel a softer tone. And that actually makes long writing sessions much easier. Let's talk sound, because many of you check this first. There are no built-in speakers here, so you must rely on headphones or external speakers. For us, that is fine since we use headphones most of the time, but we know not everyone likes extra cables on their desk. The headphone jack on the back does make life a bit easier though, and if your PC sits under the desk, plugging headphones into the monitor is faster. After using it for a while, we see a clear picture of who this monitor serves. If you want a simple, reliable 4K IPS panel for work, editing, or mixed personal use, this is solid. You get good clarity, proper colour, and enough adjustments to make it sit right on most desks. And if you pair it with a second screen, it becomes even more capable as part of a bigger workspace. However, if you want a display with speakers, USB-C high refresh rate, or deeper contrast, then you may want to look elsewhere. We think this panel has plenty of merit, but do be mindful of your use case. After months of use, the standout theme here is consistency. Nothing feels wild, nothing feels weak, nothing feels heavily compromised. It just works the way a dependable IPS monitor should. We appreciate the viewing angles, we appreciate the resolution density, and we appreciate that it handles long hours without eye strain once reader mode is active. And the things it lacks are easy to accept, as long as you know what you expect from your desk setup. So if you want a 27-inch 4K screen for a balanced workflow, this LG UltraFine 4K keeps things simple and predictable. And sometimes that is exactly what we need while switching between editing, writing, and general daily tasks. That was all. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found it helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more reviews.